I'm your host, Jason Tartick, and welcome to Trading Secrets. We talk all things money on this podcast, and we're teaching all the stuff we just weren't taught in the classroom. Nothing supports this show more than liking, commenting, and of course, subscribing. Welcome back to another episode of Trading Secrets. Today, we are joined by entrepreneur, marketing professional, and more notably, a personality on Bravo's Real Housewives of New York City, Brynn Whitfield. Brynn joined the rebooted cast of RHONY for season 14 in 2023 and returned for the most recent season 15, which wrapped up in January. Prior to diving into reality TV, Brynn has an extensive career in corporate marketing. Brynn worked on an award-winning campaign for global campaigns of the largest companies, managing and executing strategic media relations, programs for clients across multiple industries, and clients spanning Shell, Oil, Unilever, Johnson & Johnson, and many tech-based companies. More recently, Brynn co-founded a dating app strictly for college students called Hoppy. We're going to dive into all your experience thus far at RHONY, the evolution of your professional career, your new app, and where you see it going from here. Brynn, welcome on Trading Secrets.
So excited to be here in Trading Spaces.
It is an absolute honor to have you on Trading Spaces. I was just on Brynn's podcast, and you called this Trading Spaces. Actually, I feel like it was an episode of Trading Spaces.
It was because we held space for one another, and then we also traded secrets, so it's like a hybrid.
I feel like we did a lot in that episode, and
here
we are today.
We did so much that now the second date's going to be awkward.
The second date is going to be hard to live up to the first. It's going to be hard to live up to the first one, but here we are. We're going to rip it. All right. We're going to talk business. I know you like to talk business.
Yes.
We're going to talk money. I know you like to talk money.
Love it.
We might be able to talk a little bit of money and love because I know you love both money and
favorite
love.
Topics. Stop telling me.
I think you said your
hear.
two favorite topics were sex and money.
Yeah. Well, I thank you for making me a lady. I actually said finance and fucking, but
oh, sorry. I apologize. How dare that I misquote you? But here we are. All right. So let's just start from the top. So everyone knows you for a multitude of reasons, but Real Housewives of New York, definitely being the number one of that long list. How did Real Housewives of New York find you?
They found me. They slid into my DMs.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
does that happen a lot?
Like every other, like worst
shows,
thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
Shows or people?
Yeah, no, the casting director slid into my DM. So they had gotten my name from a mutual friend who's a fashion publicist, Savannah Engel. She's amazing. And I was properly fucking off in the south of France.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Who were you fucking off with?
Girlfriends.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was just chugging rosé, and I had left. I was head of communications at a tech company that had got acquired by Abbott International, so I had a mini golden parachute. So I figured.
What does that mean, mini? Like financial transparency is big here.
Yeah,
so what's mini golden transparency?
Okay.
Come on.
Do you want to whip out?
Talk money to me here.
Okay. What's your credit score?
What's that?
You heard me.
No, it's in my book. I put it on my book.
Yeah?
My most recent's like 812. I don't have any debt. Zero.
Mine, I just checked mine today. Mine's 710. It dipped.
Wow.
I got like a 40-point dip.
How much did you make last year?
You really want to know?
Yeah, tell me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, let's do it.
If I ask you to edit this out, will you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You want like this?
I will. Of course I will. I will. Give me a roundish number.
It was 7 figures.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Below.
Yeah.
Barely. I barely made.
That's not edit out worthable. Like that makes
I barely made 7 figures by like the hair on.
But you did it.
Your balls. I made
Let's
7
go.
figures.
Okay.
So barely.
All right. Well, what's the mini golden parachute? So you're working the company.
So I got stock options and stock grants and
Sweet.
whatnot. And in the acquisition, the first 8 employees, we could have stayed or we could have taken our options and left. And there was a cash bonus involved. So I was like, okay, I have the equivalent of a year's salary. And then, still hoping that company does well. And so I was like, okay, for the first time since I was 15 years old, I'm going to take time off. And because I've worked my entire life, I started at Dairy Queen and then I ended up at a ad tech company. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take time off and get a new job. I wanted to move to London and get another job as head of comms or marketing or something in ad tech. And then,
what do you think? Like, so they reached out to you.
Yeah.
You're doing your thing.
I thought it was a
like,
scam.
where do you think it came from? What do you think sparked it? Did anybody say or suggest or poke or be like, you got to go find her?
No, so Savannah, who's a fashion publicist and like an it girl
Yeah.
in New York, she was auditioning for it herself, and she went all the way to 30 Rock. So there's like, you do different interviews, you do Zooms, you do in person, and then one of the final interviews is 30 Rock, where you actually go in person, and then one of the final interviews is you meet Andy and blah, blah, blah. So she had gone to 30 Rock, but then she was like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. She backed out, and they're like, fine, give us a list of names. Jessel and I were on that list of names, my castmate. So they slid into my DMs, and I thought it was a scam. Because I was on private, I never posted on Instagram. Like I hate phones, I hate technology, I hate social media, and I work in tech. But Steve Jobs did too. He didn't even let his kids use iPads. But I thought it was a weird like crypto scam because they're like, "Hi, Brynn, do you work with the Real Housewives in New York, and we're casting. Will you talk to us?" And I was like, "Delete." They sent me a second message. I deleted it again, and then finally Savannah, who's from Georgia, she's like, "Dumbass, it's really the Housewives are trying to call you." I should introduce you to Sav. You think I'm because I like whiskey and beer? She's literally me, but she's from the fucking Delta.
Okay.
Like, and she's also like Anna Wintour's like golden child. Like, she's a darling and beautiful, and like she's from the fucking South.
Interesting.
So Sav, she was like, pick up your fucking phone. The Real Housewives trying to call you. So I was like, okay. So I went on one 10-minute Zoom.
Okay.
Then then they were like, okay, so this is just a prep call for our next Zoom, which is going to be like, have you watched the show? I was like, of course I watch Atlanta, Beverly Hills. They're like, so you've seen The Confessional, the glorious background, and you're dolled up.
Real quick, before you tell me about The Confessional, who was your favorite Real Housewife?
Back in the day, I love Kyle Richards. I love Dorit. I like Beverly Hills.
Okay.
Lisa Vanderpump is my friend's mom. I loved Lisa. I love Camille Grammer. I love Portia. I love.
So you're a big fan of the show.
Huge fan.
Okay, so then you go to confessional. So you got to be you got to be freaking out a little bit. Like you're freaking out. You're in the confessional where all your like the people that you love and look up to are there.
No, but they're like, it's just going to be an interview with the casting director where you sit there and they're like, just make your background kind of resemble. But me, I next level stuff. So I wore this like pink feather dress. I wore my little Chanel pink earrings. I did like a ponytail. I ripped like 3 to 6 shots of tequila beforehand because I'm thinking this is going to be a funny story. Like my life is nothing but like.
What kind of tequila? Just curious.
1942.
Okay.
I'm not a basic bitch.
Only the best.
Get out of here, please. But I just ripped shots and I just like went on, and it was like a 90-minute interview, and they're just asking me things. They're asking me who I've dated, like funny dating stories. They asked me what do people, when you ask other people about you, what would they say? And I said, I just actually had gone on like 2 Raya dates. And I was like, it's funny, both dudes said something. They were like, you remind me a lot of the girl from Schitt's Creek, Alexis. You know, because I'm always like telling stories. I was like, that one time when I got kidnapped by like the Korean like police, North Korea. Like, and the casting director laughed, and I was like, and I love the song. And she's like, what song? And I just stood up in my apartment on my Zoom camera, okay? And I'm like, a little bit Alexis. I was like,
did you sing it?
I danced the whole choreography.
Can you dance it?
I'm expensive sushi on a huge yacht. I'm a little bit single, and when I'm not, just la 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 la. A little bit Alexis. I did the whole thing, and I just sat back down. I was like, sorry, and they were like,
you're perfect.
They were like, we'll call you right back. And then that was it.
Give us 2 minutes.
Literally. And then I had one other Zoom, again, with 3, one from NBC, one from Bravo, and one from the production company. Never met Andy. And then, so it was like 2 weeks and 3 Zooms. 10 minutes, 90 minutes, 30 minutes. And they offered it to me.
Done.
Yeah. And the first time I met Andy, I was like, everyone else got to meet you. I didn't get to meet you. He goes, no, I saw the tapes.
He saw enough. He's like, that's it. Sign it up.
She's batshit.
All right, so you talked about Mini Golden Parachute. They offer you the contract. What do you think about what they're paying you per episode? Like, are you thinking, is this worth
money.
it?
No, it's my DoorDash money.
I
spend more on DoorDash per week than what I made per season.
How much you spend on DoorDash a week?
A lot, but not
5,000
per week. No, God, no.
Oh.
Wait, what did I say? I'm trying to figure out a roundabout way to not say what I mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm just asking you how much you make. How much you pay on DoorDash?
I spend like $2,000 to $3,000 a week on
And
DoorDash.
DoorDash,
Yeah,
did you ever consider the risk? Like, were you like, is the risk worth this reward?
For sure. So what I was worried about, because everyone that I consult with are these like top 100 CPGs, right? So, and I consult with them, which a lot of America doesn't know what consulting means, and they think that's being a sugar baby. Consulting means that I have gotten to the place in my career where the clients that I had and the brands that I worked with and the agencies that I worked at were so well known that I'm able to step back, not be in the day-to-day office, but basically they call me for advice or to work on a deck or create a campaign idea, and they pay me very well for it. So
how much do they pay you?
Very well. I make as much as a lawyer does per hour.
Like
as a consultant.
$400.
More than that.
$500.
No,
$600 just for an hour.
Yeah. But an Equinox trainer makes $130 an hour. So.
100%. But no, you should. Consultants, I would expect to make that. But for people that, all right, now we're getting serious for a second.
Yeah.
Educational wise, you're consulting. What is the value? They're paying you $600 an hour. What is the value they're getting in return?
The value they're getting me is like 60 minutes of me on Adderall and just fucking Don Drapering the fuck out of them.
And so you're giving them all the money.
Genius shit. Like I don't it's literally 60 minutes of me being like me at my best and just like taglines, creative ideas, something for the ad campaign. Like I can literally just pull, and mind you, it takes me a while. Sometimes I'll procrastinate on something or I'll read the brief and then I take 6 days or do you have anything? I'm like, no, not yet. And then all of a sudden it's like 17 ideas.
You come up with creative for them.
No, they'll give me a brief and then I make the creative.
Okay,
what the campaign should be, what the influencer should be saying, what's cool, what's whatever, what's happening, what's trending, and I just tell them what to say and do. So it's kind of like stand-up comedy, but it's stand-up creative.
What's wild is like you were getting paid $600 an hour at the minimum to do this consulting, to come up with these briefs for creators. You now go on reality TV. You are a Real Housewife of New York. Now you're a creator.
Yes.
You got to be making more as a creator than you were as a consultant.
Yes, I am. Yes. I mean, but here's the thing, but it's like which is why I've now started my company and I enjoy being back like full time and being chief marketing officer. Like I'm used to being in an office and running a team and doing that. Like, so I just do now endorsements and sponsorships on the side.
Okay.
So it was only really like about a year in between season 1 and season 2 that I properly like was kind of in between. I was just consulting, and then I was filming, so I could only build 10 hours a week. Then the second the show was done, I went back to consulting full time. My clients at which were some of the biggest skincare lines. Like if you shop at CVS and walk down the skincare aisle, facial or body, you've seen 30% of the brands that you see on the shelf I've worked with.
Interesting.
I've done the marketing for, yeah. And the agencies I work with, they white label my creative. So you can't. And they were like, guess what, brand that pays us $1 gazillion a month? A new idea. It's actually consultants in the background that help the team formulate, brainstorm, ideate, and create those concepts. So they a lot of times will white label my work, which is why I can't show my work on TV.
Interesting.
And there's actually one publication, I think it was Nylon or something, that mentioned the company I work with. And the brand director was like, we love you so much and we adore you from the brand. But they were like, we don't want to be associated with this show. So it's a massive national skincare line. Interesting. Yeah. And they're like, we love you, but we don't want to be associated with that. Or our competitor has ad buys with the network. So we don't want to be. Yeah. But then, so I had to be hush-hush about everything. And then, as you know, when you don't share everything and every detail and the reason why.
People label you.
People are like, they label you and they're like, well, why? Well, how? And then they create their own story of what you are. So like, oh, she's a sugar baby. She gets money from dudes. I'm like, I wish.
Right. Well,
I'd love to.
All right. Well, one of the things we talked about, I mean, you nailed it, right? So if you're white labeling, people wouldn't know what you're doing. And then as a result of that, people are asking what you're doing, especially on a show where it's all these high profile people doing these big things. And I even saw a People article about you kind of snapping back at them being like, are you kidding me? Do you want to talk about everything I've done? And you've listed all those, which I listed in your intro, right? So
thank you for doing
those
that,
are things that you've done.
Like, somebody copy me some of my LinkedIn bio.
Yes, got it. ChatGPT also helps.
Yeah,
but
I love ChatGPT.
The thing is, like,
what
you said, sugar baby. You and I on your podcast talked about gold digger.
Yeah.
You have been with like pretty wealthy people before. Yeah. What are your thoughts when people say stuff like that to you, and how do you combat it?
What I tell people, and even what I told my castmates in a very long text message, like the one time in my season that I went off on everyone, that everyone keeps referencing and Jeff Lewis references, one time which again, for being on for now 3 years, 2 seasons, 3 years, like I went off on people one time, one text message I sent, a very long, lengthy one where I read them the riot act. And I was like, here's what's up. Leave my name and my work out of your mouth. You want to throw receipts on the table? Do you want me to bring up my JP Morgan Chase right now? I have W-2s. I have everything trackable with every receipt, every invoice I've ever spent. What do you do for a living? Like, and the irony of the fact that, like, I'm the only one that works a full-time job on my cast.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that works a full-time job. No one else.
Really?
Think about it. We have influencers. We have models. We have art curators. We have people that did work at J. Crew 3 years ago, but now they're just, like, honorary positions. We have, like, a real estate agent that hasn't sold a house in 7 years.
Who's that?
No, I'm just saying.
I know.
They're all starting businesses and being entrepreneurs and doing amazing stuff. Don't get me wrong. But, like, and they're all very successful and making money.
But you're saying none of them are working 50 hours a week on one thing like you are.
They're not doing the boring-ass job that most of America we all do, which is 9 to 5, and I sit at a desk and I make decks and I go on Zoom calls. There's nothing glamorous about that. The show doesn't want to shoot that. Like, it's just me brainstorming with my dog. I'm bouncing ideas off Sugar. Like, that's not, like, shootable. I mean, maybe now with the dating app, because it's like a fancy office with, like, it looks cool. Maybe now they'll want to shoot that. But to date, it hasn't. It's just, there's nothing to shoot. Like, consulting is not glamorous. It pays well, but it's not glamorous, which is, like, my favorite.
And that's why you snap back on people. That's why you snap back a little bit.
Yeah. I just think it's, like, just because you don't know or because you don't have a LinkedIn login, like, don't, like, come at me and say gross things about me.
I get that. I get that. All right, let's talk about your dating life a little bit.
God.
Like you said, Raya already, and just in general, when you're, like, we've talked a little bit about it on your podcast, but, like, how in the different areas of someone's attributes, and I want to, like, dig into this a little bit. Wealth and money is where on the list? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
What's the other options?
I mean, think about dating. It could be their looks, their sex appeal, their personality, their, I don't know, what are common attributes?
Okay, humor.
Humor's number one.
No, intelligence. I'm a sapiosexual.
Okay.
You can actually be ugly and poor, but if you're, like, very
smart.
An
ugly and poor person would fit.
But if you're, like, a scientist, that's hard.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a thing for scientists, and if you have, like, a bunch of patents.
Okay, but the patents connect too.
Yeah. No, but I like if you're, like, you can tell me shit. I dated a dude who worked at, like, the Nobel Prize, like, reactor, and I was like, oh, like, I like smart. So brain, then. I don't hear brain, then probably money, then humor, then personality, then looks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we talked a little on your podcast about it, but, like, when you talk about money, do you have, like, if someone's like, if they're broke, will you go on a date with them?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, you will?
As he can be broke, but as long as he's you're like, so let's go on a date.
Yeah, I'm like, what are we waiting for?
What should we go for? No, it's fine, but you just have to be, like, working on something, or you have to have a company or an idea. You have to be passionate about something. You have to be like, look, I'm doing this, and I know this is gonna work, and you have to be so confident.
Yeah.
And you have to look me in the eyes and be like, I'm gonna be a billionaire in 5 years, and I'm like.
Has anyone done that to you before?
Yes.
How's that worked out?
And they've done very well.
They've become billionaires.
Yeah, there's a few people that said it and they didn't. But the ones that I knew, I'm like a talent scout. Like, you're a manager.
Interesting.
I'm a talent scout for, like, not the
for
NBA
for
draft.
wealthy people.
Yeah. But I can tell there's, like, a passion. There's a grit. A lot of the times it's people that don't come from money.
Okay.
A lot of the times it's people like myself that have, like, been through shit or seen shit, or you're dealing with other demons that you're like, it's not about the money. Like, I want to be a billionaire, but I'm just going to give it all away. I don't really care. I just want to be like, I want capitalism, and then I'll donate it. I came in this world with nothing. I will leave with nothing. But there's this thing, I have to feel safe because I grew up with such nothing that I have to create everything, and not through a man. I have to do it myself.
But is that your draw? But, like, when you talk about, like, you're getting labeled as, like, sugar baby and bullshit, is your draw, you want to be successful, you are successful, and then you want to be with someone that has success. The draw to that is based on the fact, where do you think it is? Like, if you stem it back, we talked a little bit about it, but if you stem it back to your childhood, is it safety? Is it security? Like, why is it that you're attracted to those people who have achieved X, Y, and Z and created this?
I equate money with being able to keep me safe.
Okay, but with the engagements you've had with the people who've done well, did you feel safe in those relationships when they had that wealth?
God, fuck. I did at the beginning.
This isn't like a guy you. It's more like, I think, a learning lesson.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's more like, it's interesting for someone who's gone through it, who wants it, to see if
I
that
did at
is
the beginning.
what it is.
I think the money made me feel at the beginning like it was going to be that.
Yeah.
And then as I got into it, I didn't feel like I trusted them with... I trusted their past, I trusted their bank account, I trusted their family money, but I didn't trust that they were going to be able to... My dream man is like, what was that one show about the apocalypse where all the zombies come? Departed, or what was it called? The zombie TV show?
The Last of Us?
The most recent one, the zombie show.
I'm not a big zombie guy.
No, it wasn't. Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Yeah. Okay.
We did it, guys.
Walking Dead, but like where the zombie apocalypse can come and like you're going to figure out how to keep us safe. Like you can access resources, you can play politics, you can, if necessary, like do what you have to do in order to keep us safe. Like I just brought up the zombie apocalypse, talking about my childhood, but I just have to feel like you can figure it all out. Like I want a guy that we can get in the car and we're trying to like make it out to like, we have to get to the Hamptons first or whatever. And I'm like, oh, you should go this way. And he's like, no. I know this. We're going to take blah, blah, blah out. I want someone where I can just finally like shut my brain off and be not stupid, but like not have to think about everything and not have to be in survival mode and just be like,
Makes sense.
I trust him. Like I'm safe.
Did any of your relationships, because you were engaged, right?
Yeah, a few times.
A few times. Did any of those relationships not work out because of trust and money? Like this whole concept of money and trust?
I trusted them and they all had money.
Okay. So
I think I made a whole thing where, looking back, if I'm really honest, I can, even now I could make up, like I could just start talking and probably convince you that it was them, but it was me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why?
Totally
what was it?
I don't know. I just wasn't ready. I was fucked up.
What do you?
I don't know. It was me. But
you think in every single relationship, that's like the most mature thing I've ever heard a human say. You think in every relationship that didn't work out, it was you.
Yeah, it was me.
And you're taking full ownership.
Yeah,
I think it like every relationship.
I don't think I've ever done this.
I think in every relationship that doesn't.
NBC would pay you for this.
I think in every relationship, like as someone who's had a lot of them that hasn't worked out, and there are things I could certainly point the finger. I could point the thumb too, but I think it takes two to break up. You don't think it takes two?
It takes two to tango. It takes two to fuck. It takes two to break up.
True. So then it's not all on you.
No,
I'm playing. I got your back right now.
Thank
Did
you
you
so
cheat?
much.
Did you cheat?
Never. I would never cheat.
Then why
I
was it
cheaters.
you? Then how was it you?
No. I can't stand cheaters. There's not. I don't like two things. I have two cardinal sins. I grew up Roman Catholic. Do not lie to my face, and don't waste my time. Time is the most precious resource. You can recreate. You can print money off of trees.
That's so true. That's
don't waste my time.
That's so true.
And do not lie to my face. Lie behind my back. Fine. I don't really care. I don't see it.
Yeah.
But don't look in my face and be like, and tell me a lie.
Yeah.
I become very, like, the Irish in me comes out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out why it didn't work out then, or do you not want to go there?
It's because of me. No, it's just me. Like, I wasn't ready, or I was creating problems where I should have, instead of being like, oh, them, been like, no, this is where I never had a model growing up where I saw mom and dad fight.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And people just, they come around, and then the next day, and you work it out. My whole thing was, all I saw was family members fighting, lawyers, not talking, arguing, screaming, horrificness. Like, I never understood that, like, it's normal. So I would get very weirded out by, like, small sort of, like, we would bat heads, and I'd be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, dude, we're having, like, a heated conversation. I'm like, no. I think I see something, I'm out. Yeah. And I would just leave. I was a massive, like, I was a nonstop flight
avoidant,
risk.
is it?
No, some people call it avoidant. I call it a flight risk.
Okay, tomato, tomato.
PJs on PJs. No, but I just always was, like, always running away from things. And still to this day, you know, even on the show, in season 2, my past season, I really struggled because I don't like confrontation. I like making drama, but I actually don't, and I like playful, dumb little fights.
But you don't like the intensity of, like,
like my
castmate
Jessel and she gets mad at me because I got a spray tan, and I like love that, but I can't when people actually get into it, and I think that they're serious. I'm very sensitive, and I can't stand confrontation.
Interesting. Where do you think that stems from?
Dude, childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it does,
always.
I'm
It
the same
always
way. That's why I
does.
asked.
Yeah,
I'm the same
yeah,
way.
yeah.
Like confident, like, and I've had to work on it over. Well, because conflict is just growth trying to happen. Conflict is good, right? Like
Conflict is growth trying to happen.
right. So if we are disagreeing on something, we're trying to figure out where we both need to grow. So it's just like when you're conflicting with something, it's just growth that's attempting. It's just how are you gonna handle it in a healthy version to get where you should.
Yes.
You know, so it's being someone that like runs from it, i.e. me, it's like the only way you can learn is that the more you step into it, actually, your future is better off because you're preventing things. It's proactive.
Have you stepped into it lately?
I've worked on it.
Yeah, you're working on it.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
My initials are BMW. I'm BMW WIP.
There you go. You got it.
It's just a draft. It's just a Google Docs draft.
Very simple. All right, I got a tough one. It's a business podcast. We talk finance here.
Yeah.
Tough conversation to step into, especially someone who's been engaged a couple times. I've been engaged before. Prenups. What is?
I wanted to ask you about this.
What?
Find my cards.
Is
I wanted to ask you about
your
this.
cards from your show are over here?
I stuffed them in the chair, along with my phone number.
What is your take on prenups?
I was going to ask you. Are you going to make someone sign a prenup?
Well, I just asked you.
No, I asked
okay,
you.
I will tell you. I will tell you my take.
Uno. I just reverse Uno, Joe.
But so
go first.
I'll answer it. But then you have
gentlemen.
to
I'll
not
come
change
after
your
you.
answer.
No, I'll come after you for sure.
Come after what? What are you coming after?
Belle, did you pick up on that innuendo? She hates me so much.
God, yeah, she's like, just get the hell out of here. All right,
leave.
here we go. This is my take on it.
Okay, hot take.
Hot take.
Prenups?
Every single state. What are you laughing at? Every single
Not the business partner just fucking.
Just laughing over it. Yeah. That's the second time he made a
I
noise
know,
during
no,
a
it's not the
podcast
same.
today. It's like the third or fourth.
Okay.
He's definitely enjoying this podcast. All right. Here's my take. We have a prenup. Every person who's married. You and I have a prenup.
We have a prenup. Babe, we signed it before we
It's
did
done.
this. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
over.
done.
Forget about it. All right. Let me get my head straight. Every single couple has a prenup. It's their state laws. And then you can take the state laws, you could customize it, or you cannot customize it. I am a proponent, just like him and I, business partner over here, we have a customized agreement. It makes sense for both of us, right? Yeah. Different colors, different hearts, different stitches, just like Build-A-Bear. So I think that every couple, you have a prenup. Whether you don't or do, you do. It's either federal or state, and based on your state, it's your state laws. And so I think you should customize it to make it extremely equitable for both parties. So you don't have to wonder.
Do you want to know my opinion?
Yeah, I asked your opinion before. I was forced to give mine.
You asked and I forced you to answer. I think they should be mandatory.
Mandatory?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Come on.
I mean, they are.
I'm a capitalist.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course. It's absurd. The fact that we've mixed this whole marriage and what it is intention, and then now what it's become, this hallmark, and then we're trying to get people back, and then we have all these like Love Island UK. I mean, come on, people, let's be honest. Marriage should be based on love and compatibility for sure, and then also compatibility, whether that be financial, moral, et cetera, but there's too high of stakes at any, I think, like income level. I think everyone, you never know. Hello, Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey.
Yeah.
Hello.
It's true.
Like, she crushed it. So I just think that you have to sign a marriage certificate, and then you guys should have to talk about it. Because I think most people that then have to have that conversation wouldn't even end up getting married.
So very pro prenup.
Oh my God. Holler, we went prenup, Kanye.
Okay. There you go.
However, though, hypocrite, because every time that a guy has mentioned that he's going to make me sign a prenup, I'm like, I don't know what that means.
So why do you do that?
Translate.
Why do you do that?
Because they have more.
Yeah.
So why would I do that?
Has that ever led to the engagement not becoming?
And let's get married in California where it's 50-50 if we divorce. No questions asked. And then, too, it's like, oh my God, like sign something like my hands, my wrists don't work. And then, in like prison or whatever, when you're in a straitjacket, which I would never know about, but I do, when they're like, put it in their mouth, and then you have to sign this thing. I'm like, I have cavities. I pretend it's like when I'm getting an X-ray. I'm like, I hate radiation at the dentist. Like, don't sign it.
All right.
So
you won't sign a prenup. You're pro prenup, but you won't sign
I'm pro prenup for all
one.
my girlfriends, and I'm like, get that fucking prenup. Even though he has more, like, protect yourself.
But not for you.
For me, I'll be like, do you not love me?
Yeah.
No, I would probably actually sign it because now where I'm at,
And
I would want to protect myself Not because it used to be because I'd be like, the dude has more. Like, I'm not going to give this guy like 3 kids for him to leave me for someone half my age. Now it's more like, I have a lot to protect, so I'm going to make someone else sign it.
Is it like, do you think that's part of the issue though? Is if you do lead with money and you're looking for someone that has money, don't you think part of the issue, because this is what I think, is that part of the issue becomes that the leverage in the relationship becomes based on money, and therefore the ease of them leaving after 3 kids becomes greater because the only thing tying the relationship together at the forefront was actually money. Like, do you subscribe to that?
I think you're thinking too much about it.
Interesting. You think it's like, what do you think?
I think
you think money and like so sex and money. What do you? I think it's an evil thing. I think it's like, when I say evil, I think it like leads. It's
money
toxic.
And sex.
No, money and sex is great, but I think it's like leads to. I'm like it's evil. You're like, literally it's bliss. But don't you think it leads to toxicity? Because then
with the wrong people. People are toxic. Situations and scenarios are not toxic. Marriage is not toxic. Divorce isn't.
No, marriage isn't toxic.
Divorce doesn't even have to be toxic. People make things toxic. I should know. I'm a toxic person.
So how do you?
I'm just joking.
All right. So for anyone out there that's like struggling with this concept, how do you?
Struggling with the what?
The concept of like dealing with career, love, and money. What suggestions do you have?
Marry for money and then pay for it for the rest of your life.
Unbelievable. If you had a book, what would you name it?
Face Down Ass Up.
All right.
Bull markets and how to win and a smart investment strategy for your personal wealth.
Unbelievable. All right, we talk on your podcast. We talked about this guy.
Your ratings are gonna dip.
Who gave you? No, they're gonna go off the charts here. Okay. They're gonna go off the charts. Please give us 5 stars, even if you don't subscribe to this.
In the App Store too, 5 stars, and then also hit the subscribe button.
Thank you so much. That was great. Welcome. All right, hang on. You talked about on a podcast, I went on yours, which congratulations, your podcast's now out.
You caught my podcast,
Yes,
Jerry.
I did. That was an honor.
Only
truly.
one person can take your podcast virginity.
That's true.
And it was me.
I did it.
What if I become a psychopath? What if I like show up at your podcast store and I'm like, do you love me?
I'm here. I'm like, here's the prenup. You're like, I'm out, running.
All guys have to do is show me a prenup, and then I just
even if you don't release it the first time, it was the podcast, Jerry, which is an honor.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, let's get dialed in here. You had mentioned that someone said to you, 34 million is the net worth. That's like the dream net worth.
What do you
that's
think
like
about that?
that's. I think it's like
is
I
that
think
an accurate
we
number?
talked about that. I think that's a pretty accurate number. Do you
do like 12? Because here's the thing: as much as I'm totally, because I live in New York, and I'm totally disillusioned by money at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
why are you disillusioned by money?
New York?
I'm
Have
fascinated. The questions I keep asking,
have you been here?
I'm just fascinated with your relationship with money. It's wild.
It's wild.
Your relationship with money is wild.
But okay, so
it's not wrong. It's not wrong.
It's not wrong. All the welfare kids shit, but then we could also just blame it all on New York City.
New York City or education, everything.
No. We're delusioned in New York. Grass is always greener. There's always a hotter model. There's always a richer guy. There's always a better house in the Hamptons.
That's actually true.
I love New York.
That's why you can't chase. I think you can't chase money here because you're never going to get faster, stronger, better.
No. Everybody, we're all super. Even to live in New York, you literally have to be rich. There was this funny post yesterday, and I made a comment on New Yorker's Instagram handle. It said something like overheard at the Upper East Side Whole Foods, and it was like, so this guy was like, bro, you make $250K a year. Why don't you just fly private? And the response just goes, LOL, no. And then I wrote, and I was like, dude, on $250K a year in New York, my comment was, I was like, you can't even take an Uber to JFK. I was like, see you at the Jamaica Station, sweetheart. Because that's
you said that to him?
Yeah, no, I just put it in the comments, and I got 1,000 likes in an hour, because that's the truth. $250,000, $250,000, which again, growing up, I thought maybe the most I'd max was $75,000.
Yeah.
It's huge, right?
Yeah.
$250K in New York, you're like,
Well, if you do quick math, right? $250K, 50% of taxes, $125K. Okay. Then how much you paying on rent here?
Rent.
Let's call it.
Do you want to know what I'm paying rent?
Yeah. How much you paying rent?
I pay, I think think I should know the number.
Give me a guess.
It's either 12,000 or 14,000 a month.
Okay, so nice. You have a nice
bad
place.
That I don't know.
You have a nice place.
Sick. You want to come?
Yeah.
It's nice.
Okay. If it's 14,000, I think if my math's wrong, 106.
No, it's 12. I think it's 12,500. I think it was 14, but I negotiated them down to 12.
But let's just call it 14 because my math. I did the number 140, so that's 28. So 168,000. 168,000. So if you're making $250,000, this isn't you. I'm just saying this example. $250,000, and you cut the taxes in half. You're at 125, and you're getting a $14,000 in just rent. You're already in a deficit. So that's where.
This is the Great Depression.
Yeah, this is the Great Depression.
Sad phase.
What do you think in New York is an amount you should strive to make if you just want to live there?
You have to make 7 figures to live in New York.
Yeah.
Unless you want to live in a neighborhood, or unless you have a rent-controlled apartment, or unless mommy and daddy are subsidizing your lifestyle or putting down a down payment.
Sometimes I can't tell if like you're doing a bit or you're like.
It's always a bit.
Okay.
It's always a bit. But unless mommy and daddy are putting down your deposit, or unless you're a drug dealer, you can't live in New York. So everyone that lives here is naturally, you have money. I don't know where the money comes from, but you have money. Huh. So again, back to my show, people would be like, I don't understand. I'm like, to be in New York, you have to have money. Like, a pack of cigarettes is $22. Stir fry is $32. Like, a cocktail is $38. Like, I go places, Miami, Los Angeles. God forbid if I go back home to Indiana. I went grocery shopping in France, and I was like, I got all these groceries for a dinner party. Like, and I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be like 400 euros. It was literally 68 euros, and I'm like, it's crazy. Like,
what are we doing?
In Mexico City, I'm a billionaire. Like,
yeah.
New York is absolutely delusional.
Do you think it's sustainable in New York, or do you think it's gonna pop?
It's New York. Of course it's sustainable.
What do you mean? It's just like everything happens?
It's not, but it is. It's not, but it is.
But it just always works out.
Yeah, it will, because it's New York. Where's it going to go? We're the epicenter of the entire world.
That's true. That's true.
New York is wild. It's really wild living here.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But
what do you think is,
place.
as far as spending, what is something that you think you overspend on?
That I overspend on?
Yeah.
Clothing.
And like what does that category look like?
What do you mean, monthly? What are you talking about?
Like monthly, yeah. Monthly. What do you think? This transparency.
Don't ask me if I wax. Like, what are we talking about here? Don't go there. It's like a lot. It's
like 10,000? 20,000? 30,000?
No, don't care. I'm not
30,000?
No.
Yeah, like 25,000.
No.
20,000.
20 is too much. No, we go
15,000. 10,000. Like, it's like 5 to 10,000.
A dress is $2,000. Wow. Yeah. My shoes are $2,000.
Okay, what is tomorrow? You go broke.
What are we doing tomorrow? When we wake up in the morning. So how I like my eggs.
I like your eggs
scrambled, like with a little bit of milk.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
little cheese or what?
Yeah. Or Julia Child's. She makes a very good scramble. That's how I like my eggs.
Oh
yes.
boy.
So tomorrow what? What's
tomorrow? You lost my train of thought here. Tomorrow you go broke. Okay.
Yes.
You go broke. You got nothing. Well, you have something, but not everything.
Do I still have my brain?
You got your brain. And you got a couple bucks. What's one thing that you overspend on? You know you overspend on it. Clothes is obviously too much, but you overspend on it today, but you're going to continue to overspend on
it. Probably food.
Okay.
That's such a boring answer.
Yeah, that's boring.
Food,
That's fine. That's okay.
But it would be.
You're due for a boring answer.
I know, right? At some point, you have to be boring.
All right.
Because it's all about like balancing yourself out.
It's all about balancing because you've just been firing.
In order to appreciate the good, you have to do the bad. But only the reason why is because I do a lot of DoorDash and Uber Eats, and it's really expensive. Food event now is like a coffee. Like coffee in New York is $14 a cup.
Yeah, it's true. All right, rapid fire. I want you to think about all your housewives, okay?
Oh God.
We're gonna play a game of, we'll call it CEO. You're the CEO. You have to decide who. Okay. What's your least favorite?
Missionary.
Okay. I thought you were going with the title of the company, but hey, I thought you were going to be like payroll, but there we are, missionary.
Intern, sorry.
Now you know. All right, so you got all the housewives. Line them up, okay?
Okay.
This season, you got to pick any one of them to be your business partner. You're doing a deal with them right now. Who is it?
From any franchise?
No, from your season.
Oh, Jenna.
Jenna, and why?
Yeah. She's a fabulous business partner. She knows how to navigate a C-suite. She understands. She's a proper businesswoman who's had the experience, been there, done that. And not just the fact that she can operate within that circle.
Yeah.
She worked her way up through it.
Okay.
My best friend, Pandora Vanderpump, her mom's Lisa Vanderpump. And the thing that I love about Pandy and her husband, Jason, who's my friend from Indiana, is the fact that, yes, they owned the restaurants at the end of the day, like Pandy and Jason, and they help run them now. But it's only because Lisa made them start as the bar people.
Wow.
And bussing tables. They had to bus tables. Okay. And then they got to be servers. They served me when they asked me to be on Vanderpump Rules. They were servers at Villa Blanca while Shayna and everyone was Jax were at Vanderpump Rules. Then they got to be head of staff. Then they got to be the manager of the restaurant. Then they got to be you have to have someone who's worked the whole gamut, and Jenna completely understands what it's like to be from the mailroom to the intern to the associate to the brand director to the PR to the creative. And then C-suite, and I think that's what makes someone fully knowledgeable and properly versus be like, you have a board assignment, and you're like, you got handed that on a plate.
That was a very, very nice endorsement to Jenna.
Jenna's very smart.
Okay, now let's do the opposite. You got your team.
Yeah.
We're Housewives, New York. You're the CEO. You got to fire someone. Who you firing?
And the real Rebecca.
Oh, well, that was a no. That was.
Yeah.
Why?
Rebecca, personally, I've always liked her.
Yeah.
And we get along in the Hamptons and stuff like that. For reality TV, which, again, I can differentiate and I can film and I know in my mind there's reality and there's reality. She's not good for reality TV. She can't shut off. You're filming with her and she's, aware that the cameras are there.
Yeah.
And she was, just there to support her business. And
sure.
I'm like, no, but that comes organically and subdirectly and through the back door.
Correct.
You got to just be you
and
share and do the thing.
The
don't hide your kids. Don't fly into film. Just be yourself and then on social promote your stuff. But it was more time filming, making reels than I'm like, dude, we're filming.
Yeah.
Just be present. If you make the show pop off, you will pop up. But that didn't register, so I would fire her because she's a great businesswoman, very smart, but I think just stay in the office. Don't try to leverage reality TV to make your business pop.
Interesting. All right,
great businesswoman.
Yeah, great businesswoman.
Yeah.
Who would you switch places with? If you're I could switch places with any single person in that show.
I would switch with Erin.
Erin's great.
Erin's
she came on the podcast. She was awesome.
She's a babe.
Huge fan. She
Abe's
is a
hottie.
She's great. Abe's great.
When she's not being, sometimes she doesn't always be and I annoy her. But when Erin is her coolest, she's the fucking coolest chick to hang out with.
Yeah.
Sometimes it makes me think I wish she weren't married and have kids because she's if Erin weren't married and had kids, she'd be me. Erin's cool. she's just she's just
you guys would go out together.
We do go together now, and she'll go hard. But she would
be your wing woman.
She's just cool. She's cool. She's smart.
Okay.
She's a cool chick.
Yeah.
She just wants to do cool things.
Yeah.
She's just okay.
Gotcha. All right. I hear you.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Well, that was that game. That was
Hire
it.
or fire.
That was it. Hire or fire. Throw it in your podcast. Give a little shout out. Where can everyone find your podcast?
Find me.
Your
Please don't
podcast. Find your podcast.
Don't give my address out.
I won't.
No. On Spotify.
You're implying I have your address now.
Yeah. I already texted it to you.
Okay.
Now you can find me on Spotify. Please see below.
Okay, Spotify. All
Please
right,
see
there
below.
you go. Before we wrap here, you got to tell people about your dating app. I think that's a cool endeavor that you're doing.
Thank you.
Tell people how you started it and what did it look like and where is it at today?
So I did a few partnerships for dating apps, paid partnerships. And in doing those, everyone was always saying, you should start your own dating app. You should start your own dating app. So I was in conversations with some people and some investors and then got word of the fact that someone who was working, formerly a founder of Bumble, was potentially making an app, but didn't know. It was just literally an idea in his head. So I set up a meeting and made a business deck and went and pitched him. And literally just introduced myself as, hi, I'm your next co-founder. And then sat down.
Wow, you did it with that confidence?
Literally.
Wow.
I literally just introduced myself as his former co-founder. And I was like, hi, I'm this person.
That's two
I'm
instances.
Your
On a serious note again, that's two instances in which your confidence immediately propelled you.
Because I knew it's
the
what I
Zoom
wanted.
And that.
Yeah, I knew it's
what I wanted. I'm sure that's no mistake.
And it made sense. And you have to be, when I was a little girl, my grandma used to say, she could, this was when Giuliani was mayor, she's like, she could sell before I moved to New York, she's like, she could sell the Brooklyn Bridge to Giuliani. When I believe in something, when I want something, I can manifest anything work-wise.
You're dialed.
relationship, not so much. But work-wise, I'm like, this is me, this is it. So I went in, I said, hi, I'm your new co-founder, and this is my vision, and this is your idea, and you're the genius, and you're the tech guy, and you're the entrepreneur, and you're the billionaire, and you're this person, but this is what I know as far as like marketing and PR and American nuances in the dating world, and like we're at the zeitgeist moment, this is the beauty, and sold him on it. And then we had a very long trial period. He definitely made me go in, went over all the developers and all the tech team, and it was a very long process, which is why I couldn't talk about it on the show, because I was literally interviewing for 4 months in order to be. Wow. He just didn't give it to me. He was like, you need to win over 40 fucking tech developers who've been doing this for 20 years, are the best of the business. So I did.
You won them over.
Yeah, I won them over.
And so what's your role at the company now?
Chief Marketing Officer, but more importantly, co-founder.
Is that like, do you get cash and stock?
I have equity.
Okay, so you got all equity.
Yeah, I own 1%
wow.
of the company.
And how's the company doing?
Right now, it's doing well. We don't have a valuation yet because we're a startup, but you know, it's going well. And similar to Be Real and similar to other companies, we will be privately funded the entire time.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't need to take on things. Yeah, that's the same.
And it's only for college students, right?
Just for now, because we're in the test and growth phase.
Okay. And so if there is a college student listening to it, where can I find it?
If you have a .edu, just go to the App Store and download Hoppy and give us 5 stars. But if everything goes along to plan, we're hoping it's going to be the summer of Hoppy, a happy Hoppy summer, and we're going to open it up to basically all young adults. So
I love it.
You don't have to have if you're in North America, we're going to open up to everyone. So.
Okay, amazing. All right, last thing I got before I go, because you attack things with such confidence and it works out in your favor. I think negotiation is a huge topic of conversation amongst my listeners. What type of advice do you have for people that are going up into negotiation? They're meeting with their bosses. It's annual reviews. They don't know how to approach it.
So
how do you approach it?
if you're walking in to your annual review and if you don't know what you're about to say, you're in trouble. And you may as well just try again next year.
Okay.
So annual reviews are based on you have to be logging every win, kind of repurposing every loss, but you should be tracking all of your wins throughout the year. So you walk in and it's literally all on paper and it's literally written out and you just push it over and you're like, here's what I did. And it also be like quantifiable. It has to be, you have to use your action verbs. You have to say, look, I was able to take this thing and I changed it, retainer from 6,000 to 16,000. I was able to help XY, one of our biggest accounts, increase growth on social by 21%. You have to have things throughout the year. If you're walking into your annual review and you're nervous, you
already failed.
You already failed. It starts day 1 of your annual review, starts day 1 of day 2 of when you got out of your last one. Anything that they said or any SMART goals or anything that you have, you need to be the entire time logging your shit as if you're getting spanked on the ass every day. You got to be like, I did this, I did this, I did this. Boom, 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 boom. Do not walk in and be like, so in New York City, the cost of living has gone up. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
I don't care. Whenever people
that is the worst way to go into negotiation.
Whenever people present me with like, well, the cost of living's gone off, I'd be like, why don't you walk in here with all the things that you did?
We just got that, Evan. Remember that? She's like, well, my cost of this.
That is
the worst. What does that do for us? That means nothing.
Walk in with what you did.
Yes, and the value you brought.
Why you can't, and know in the back of your mind that it's going to take 3 months and probably a third of your salary to rehire you and train you. Use that to your advantage. So be like, here's where I'm at. Here's all the ways that I've won. I've saved the company money. I've actually, contributed X, Y, and Z. At the same time, here's what continuing this trajectory, the value add the next 12 months. Make yourself invaluable. The fact that you think you're going to fucking fire me, I gotta give you the balls. You have to have them by the balls. And then you have to actually know what you want as well, like in salary. If they're like, so sold, what do you want? And you're like, I don't know, be like 150K. And then you bring up this is what the salary equivalent on Indeed is, and I've taken on more responsibility, so actually I'm doing 2 roles in one. You have to have like your fucking paperwork, like the FBI, and then you sit there. And then last piece of advice is you have to have the balls or the backup plan, which is I always did, to walk away. If they don't give you what you want, I'm cool, dude, because I have fucking been interviewing for 3 months. That's what you do. That's how you roll.
I think you got to write a book at this point.
I am with Gallery Books.
That was
Schuster.
great.
It's coming out in fall.
Book is coming
soon.
soon.
But that's the thing. But that's how you. But you know what? I learned it myself, and I learned it through a lot of failures. My first job, I remember. Chris will tell you at Edelman. I walked in and I was like, so all these printouts of LA living costs, because I was making $32,000 a year. I was living between 2.99 stores, and he's like, "Let me tell you, you don't walk in with this. You walk in with that." So we scheduled this meeting, and then he taught me. Chris Manzini, I love you. He's still there.
Wow.
But I learned the hard way, and now I know. And I even whispered to my team. I'm like, "Here's how you do this."
Yeah, come prepared.
I was like, "I'm giving you more responsibilities." I was like, "This is where you ask me." Yeah, girls. Yeah. Feminism.
Let's go. Last question I got before we get your trading secret. You're a manifester. It's 2025, 2027. You broke into 7 figures. 2020, let's call it 2027. How much are you going to make that year? Manifest it. What's the dream? What's it going to be? Give me a number.
I'm a Billy.
You're a billionaire.
Yeah, 2027.
In 2 years?
It's 2025. 18 to 24 months.
Wow.
Yo, you got to go quick. Life's short.
Okay.
You don't know what's going to happen.
All right. You're going to be a billionaire.
Make it count. Make it literally count. No, with 2025, I'm going to build a lot of stuff and lay the groundwork for all the amazing stuff.
Okay.
And I'm going to meet my husband this year. That's what I've discovered.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm not going to marry him. I'm just going to meet him.
You're going to meet him this year, and then you'll figure out the married thing.
Yeah. And I'm going to make him sign a prenup.
Yes, make him sign a prenup. There you go. Check and check. All right, we got to wrap up with your trading secret. So trading secret is no professor, YouTube video, TikTok tutorial can teach them this. They can only learn from your experience. So something that's unique to you, either financially, professionally, or personally. It's like one big last thing you could leave us on. For everyone that's listening, give them some advice in that area. Honestly, it could be anything specific to you.
I think your lowest point, know that the lowest point, the lowest you felt, you're super depressed, you're like, I can't recover, this is fucked, I'm fucked, everything's wrong, I want to blow my brains out, this sucks. If you can just hang on a little bit and slap a smile on your face and power through, if you can find it in you, not even power through, just kind of just wake up the next day and not do something horrific. Little do you know, I swear to God, it's the beginning of something great.
Wow.
I think life is nothing. It's not the destination. It's the journey. I think life is nothing but fucked up shit happening and awesome shit happening. And it's about how you deal with the bad stuff. And if you can learn from it, otherwise it just keeps happening again. But I think life is just fucked up shit and great shit happening. And then we just all die. but I think if you can that's the key and the purpose. So just know that when the bad stuff is happening and you don't want to deal and it's nothing, you don't see any way out or any light. There's no glimpse of everything. Actually, what I now love is that's the time when I can remember, I'm like, oh wait, this is awesome because it can't get any worse. That's when you get higher. I actually get scared now when everything's going great. I'm like, it's coming
to an end, yeah.
A family member's going to die. The IRS is coming. Something's happening.
Yeah.
Something bad's going to happen. I'm scared when everything is going great. I see the first season of my show, and then it's boom, life will smack. The second you get cocky, the second you think it's all good, life just rips you down. So I actually now enjoy the bad parts because I'm nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, and then like Rocky says, right? It's not about how many punches you get. It's how many you could take and keep going forward. That's
okay,
it.
Rocky.
Right?
Okay.
So no, but you got the good, you got the bad. You got the good, you got the bad.
Exactly.
It's this constant ping pong. It goes back and forth and back and forth, and yeah, that's life. I think you said something funny about you're life is about getting fucked up and then living and then dying or something. You said this funny that was
accurate.
The funniest breakdown I've ever heard of life. But that's an interesting.
Fucked up shit happens.
And then good stuff happens and you die.
Yeah,
that honestly,
it's not that soon.
You need to make merch with that line right there, right now.
I think not merch, not sweatshirts, maybe bumper stickers.
Maybe bumper stickers or candles or something. But that's going to be your road to the billionaire. It's on its way. It's going to happen.
Well, I'll see you there. I'll
see you there. We'll see you at the finish line. Yeah. Where can everyone find everything else you have going on? You're tell the dating app, the podcast.
Download
everything.
Hoppy in the app
Hoppy,
store.
get it?
Hoppy. It's a little pink bunny. You have to get on Spotify. You have to download the pod. Just download the pod. You don't even follow me on Instagram. I just want you to listen because I've had amazing guests such as yourself, and I'm only getting started. So please see below on Spotify.
There you go.
And anywhere you listen to podcasts, anywhere. I don't judge.
That's
There's
it.
no judgment.
And wait, will you be on the next season of Real Housewives?
I can't answer that question.
Okay. Maybe the next season of Real Housewives.
I'll be here. And maybe other places.
And maybe other places. Who knows? Thank you so much for being on this episode of Trading Secrets.
Trading Spaces. We love Trading Spaces.
You nailed it. That was great.